Galatasaray just beat Konyaspor to move 6 points ahead in the Super League. Everything is great. Wait, am I forgetting something? Welcome back to the Galatasaray Show. I'm Brad. This is Serkan.
Hello.
Serkan, I see you're wearing black. Wait, I am too. I wonder why we both wore black and didn't even think about it. What could it be? Aren't you excited that we beat Konyaspor 3-0 today? And yesterday, Fenerbahce, they elected a new president. They maalesef Ali Koç çok özledim.
That's the only thing that I'm happy about.
And then they draw another game, so now we're 6 points clear of them. What could be bringing us down?
Is that a question?
Yeah. I really want to know.
Honestly, I don't even care about our Turkish Super League games. What really matters is Europe, and we completely collapsed against Frankfurt. Losing like that, it's a big deal because those are the games that actually define our reputation, right?
It's
and
true.
Show where we stand against real competition. I don't really care if we score 5 goals, 6 goals in Turkish Super League. It means nothing to me.
So I'm a little different. The fact that we've won every game with every kind of lineup highlights one of the biggest problems I think that faces us. We didn't do a show after the Frankfurt match because it was too hard. My Babani died last week, and so the funeral was the same day of the game. I couldn't watch the game till later that night. Serkan was like on suicide watch, and so I couldn't really talk to him at all. And so we had to take a little time to digest it all. And so I've got a couple theories. One is we are like a Mercedes in a league full of Fiats. So we're just so much better than everybody else. And many people have agreed with me that I've talked to. The league gives us no competition. You've seen it. We went out there with Barish at striker, a hobbled Icardi, like he can barely run, and I think he has 3 or 4 goals in the Super League, right? Barish, he's abysmal as the national team striker, but he's got 3 goals for Galatasaray. Today, we started a worse defense than we did against Frankfurt, and they just give up They give up 1 goal that was just like a, super good goal. And so no matter, we can roll any lineup out there. I believe we can play our strikers on defense and play the defenders up front, and we'd still beat 95% of the teams in this league. So that's one thing. Playing this league doesn't get us ready at all. And so a coach can talk, but then they got on the field and these players were like, woo, and they didn't see that in the league at all. So I do believe we'll play better against Liverpool for having played against Frankfurt. I wish those games had been reversed. I really do, because we need points. I'd rather lost against Liverpool in the first game and then beaten Frankfurt. So that's one theory I have. The other theory I have, and don't laugh, I believe it's the evil eye. All these people, all these announcers, these former players, Serkan, all these former players that are on TV in Turkey. What a great team, Mükemmel İlkanbir, all these great players that they have. While they were praising us, they were also jealous of us. All the coaches saying the same thing. So tons of evil eyes got put on us. That's my other theory. And then we're going to play you a clip here in a second. We did one episode totally about this, and we brought it up in many other episodes. And Okan even said it after the game. He got berated for it, but he wasn't lying. We transferred all these players, except for Sané, who sucks, and they got on the team, and they played in one game, one Super League game, kind of together, before we played in the Champions League. And then we get in the Champions League, and we don't even have Osimhen. And so you got İlkay starting, right? That was the first game he started in the Champions League. How many times he played with Barish, Yunus, Torreira, Lamina? He never had. Do you think he's going to play like he played at Man City with Haaland and all those guys, where he played hundreds of games with them? There's no way. Singo, the pairing at the back. They haven't played together. And you just can't go into Champions League where you've got to play at the highest level you can with a team that has 4 new starters on it. It's like 33% of your team. And of course, the reason I say the evil eye, Jesus Christ, I've never watched a game, I don't care what level it was, where I saw 3 own goals in a Champions League game. That won't happen again the rest of my life. All right.
That's why this loss hurts me. We look super unprepared. It's not the fact that we lost 5-0. It's about failing to show our capacity, show the fight, and the quality that we're supposed to bring on that big stage. That's what I'm disappointed, and that's why I keep saying I really don't care about the Turkish Super League. All we care about the Champions League, and that's what we've been talking about for the past 3 months, 3.5 months. Champions League. We did not bring Osimhen. We did not bring Singo for the Turkish Super League. We could have won all those games without those 2 players.
All right, so we're going to put it on the screen here. Galatasaray has won 3 of its last 33 games in the Champions League. 3 of its last 33. So I don't know if it's culture. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. How do you break out of that? Because that's a culture built in our program. Just like we have the culture of winning the Super League. We're going to win the Super League. We also have the culture of losing in Europe. We've done it time and time again. I mean, I went and saw us play 3 games in the Champions League at home. At home. You know, welcome to hell and all that, right? You know how many we won? None. It took like a Tete 93rd minute goal to even tie freaking Copenhagen. You talk about looking unprepared. We opened the Champions League 2 years ago at home with Copenhagen, and we were down 2-0 in the first 40 minutes.
We were playing well until they scored that first goal.
Well,
Then
and that's what
things went
Ocon.
just downhill. I don't know what happened, but we just couldn't make it. We
I'm telling you,
conceded 3 goals in the first half. That's not acceptable.
I don't know if they need like a team, like a psychiatrist or like a, what's that hypnotist person? Like, you're getting
Yeah.
sleepy. You're getting sleepy. But that's what I think happened. They have gotten so used to things going poorly in Europe that you're right. They're winning, and we score that great Eunice goal, and then it was just like the floodgates opened. Like it was 1-0 in the 42nd minute, and by halftime it was 3-0. And
We
I don't
just
know
couldn't.
what you say. What do you say in the locker room when you were basically like 5 minutes away from going into the locker room with a lead at halftime, but instead you're down 2 goals on the road?
They made a tactical change, like in the second half of the first half, and we couldn't respond to that tactical change. That's what happened.
That's coaching. That's just coaching. And so I don't know. I've coached people like in like powerlifting, and I've gotten smarter over the years with it. I've learned more kind of as I've went. Can Ocon learn to be a better coach in Europe by coaching in Europe? Or
No,
is it just something innate in you that he doesn't have?
we just repeat ourselves every single year. We come up with another excuse. I wonder what the excuse is this year.
Well, they haven't given any yet.
Well,
Excuses.
oh, no, he did. He
Well, the
said,
only,
well, player joined us late. That's
yeah.
one of the reasons why we couldn't perform well today. That's what he said.
Well, he's not lying. He didn't lie. If I'm Ocon, I'm going to put that in the press because you know how Turkey likes to pull the trigger. If they try to fire me after that game, I'm going to be on record of, hey, I didn't get these Champions League level players until the last possible minute. I mean, they were talking about transferring Ilkay in June.
Let me ask you a question. Should we fire Okan if we happen to lose our next game against Liverpool? Well, losing against Liverpool is not a big deal, but let's say that we did not play good. We lost 4-0 or 5-0, right?
Is Osimhen healthy and playing in that game?
If you're relying on a single player, that's a problem.
I totally disagree. I totally.
So what you're saying is that we're nothing without Osimhen.
No. We're not the same team. We're a different team. When you change one player, you become a different team. That's math. And when that one player, Victor Osimhen, is considered one of the top 5 strikers in the world. I mean, this guy got to our team kind of late last year and scored 30-something goals. He's not just like a nobody. He's an elite level striker. And when you play an elite level striker, that causes the defense to double team them. So you're going to bring a back and a central defender. You're going to bring a defensive midfielder. When you start moving those people around to bracket him, because that's what you do, you'll bracket him. That's going to leave space open for Barish, for Eunice, for anybody else. Without him, with a hobbled Icardi or Eunice or Barish, they're not going to double him. If they do, it's going to be for a very small amount of time. And so you don't have him. It changes how they defend you. You can't tell me that those Barcelona teams with Messi, if you took Messi out of them, that they were going to be the same.
That doesn't answer my question, though.
So, well, that's what I'm asking. That's my qualifier. If Oshiman is healthy in that game and we play like crap, then sure, why not? Because he's got all the bullets in his gun.
That answers my question.
If you've got Ilkay, and at this point he will have played 1, 2. We're playing again on Friday before that game. So he will have played in 3 straight games. Barish will have been in 3 more games. Eunice is playing great. He scored in 3 straight games.
He made 2 crucial mistakes in Frankfurt game.
Well, you got to remember. What he is. He's not a defender. He doesn't pretend to be a defender. He's a go offense guy. And if you're depending on Eunice to play defense as part of your game plan, that's a piss poor game plan. It just is. I know that. You know that. Everybody watching this knows that. So if that's who you're going to put out there.
He lost 2 balls and we conceded 2 goals. That's all I know.
Well, he did that.
He was not defending. He was trying to pass the ball back to the goalie or our left back, and he lost the control.
Yeah.
And the second goal, again, he lost the control in midfield.
So he was a net -1. He gave up 2 and scored 1. So Sara was defending and fell flat on his ass, and they scored a goal. And this guy's supposed to be able to play defense. So again,
those kind of mistakes are not forgiven in the Champions League.
Well, just like today, right? Today we scored 3 goals against Konya, and Aaron didn't even start. Jakobs, who's a defensive first left back, starts, and we still score 3 goals. So Champions League, if you're starting Jakobs back there, if you've got Eunice, if you've got Torreira and Lamina, and you still, I'm not saying you have to win, but if we play that poorly again, I don't see how you don't, because if you bring someone in that can get them to play in Europe, you still have enough games left to move on. And you know, like I do, the terrible thing about this is this team, the longer they play together, the better they're going to look. The longer that Singo plays besides Davidson in front of Urjan, the longer Ilkay's in that midfield distributing the ball around. Oshiman playing. This team is going to look fantastic. And it's the same tragedy we always have, right? Last year that we lose in Europe, we lose in Europe, and what? We don't lose a game the rest of the year. So they got that, like you're saying, I'm agreeing with you. We've got to win some of these games to validate this team. The league means nothing. We've got a, what is it now? A 6-point lead after 6 games. When's the last time we had a 6-point lead after 6 games?
I don't even remember that, but that doesn't make me happy.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this league is so far beneath us right now that you and I could coach this team to a championship this year.
We don't need a coach to win this title.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you think if you and I were the coach and the assistant coach, we would win the league with Galatasaray this year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, am I good enough? Do I know enough about football to coach in the Champions League? Oh, hell no. No. So we need somebody that can coach in the Champions League. I woke up Sunday morning, American time, and opened my Twitter, and I found Jurgen Klopp in like Galatasaray clothes, like tweeting everywhere. I don't know who started that.
That's an unrealistic target.
Oh, I know. But God bless whoever started that, because people caught on to it. And by the time I woke up, it was all over the Twitterverse. So you got to appreciate their enthusiasm. But my hope is that was the outlier, right? That game was the outlier.
We did not play well today. If that was an outlier, then what was today's game?
No, we looked good today. What are you talking about?
We did not play well.
We played a counter-attacking offense.
Watch the goal that we conceded.
I did. I watched it.
What was Lamina doing?
He's just hanging out.
Exactly. So those mistakes are not forgiven in the Champions League. You make one mistake, and that mistake will lead you to
Right,
lose that game.
all right, so here's where I'm going to challenge you. You can't tell me the league doesn't matter, and then fuss at
It
Lamina when the
doesn't
game's
matter.
fuss at
I would
Lamina for
rather
it being 3-0 and not defending his heart out against Konyaspor when the game's 3-0 in the 82nd minute. If you feel that way, you know some of the players feel the exact same way. And if I'm playing Liverpool a week from tomorrow, I'm not going to risk hurting myself to stop that goal. Who cares? We still have a twice the goals, twice of the goal difference of any other team in the league.
I would rather take the second place in the league, but play
We
in the
can't.
next round of the Champions League.
We would have to forfeit games to do that. You saw all this money that Ali coach spent on this team, and they've been drawing with teams that it should have no business drawing with them. I mean, they drew with a
That's why
team.
we're different.
They drew with Konyaspor yesterday, who we've always joked should be investigated because no matter when they play us, they score 3 goals, 4 goals all the time. They play Fenerbahce, they get more red cards than goals. And it was following the same script yesterday, right? Fenerbahce scores in the 3rd minute. They get a red card. I quit watching it because I just assumed it's going to be like 4-0, right? And so I'm out and I check my phone and Konyaspor scored against them with only 10 minutes. And they drew on against Konyaspor.
I cannot even make fun of them anymore.
10 minutes.
My morale has been down.
No, it's still
since Thursday.
I still
it has been down since Thursday.
I still just derive much joy. And let me tell you, I was shopping for my favorite yogurt in the market yesterday, and they were out of it. And the only company that had the vanilla yogurt my wife wanted was Chobani. So guess what she didn't get? No, guess what she didn't get last night? Any yogurt, because I wasn't buying that crap.
Making the long story short, dropping points in the league is frustrating, right? I mean, we don't want it, but you can always recover.
Right.
But in Europe, chances are limited, and every game is important.
Yes.
So I'm okay to lose our next game, Konyaspor game. But if we get a point from Liverpool, that will be a beautiful week.
God bless you, but I don't think we're going to drop points to Konyaspor. And again,
if we did, I wouldn't care.
Could we get points against Liverpool? Sure.
No, don't say sure.
These people that everybody talks about the Galatasaray stadium atmosphere, and I agree, it's super cool. I love it. It's like a drug I can't get enough of. But I'll watch Bayern Munich beat us like 3-1. I'll watch Copenhagen draw with us. I'll watch us have to come back against Manchester United and draw. So if the atmosphere is not worth 2 goals.
I watched today's game, and there was a big gap between our attacking field and the defensive line. So I wonder how we're going to fill in that gap, because we'll need to fill it in to be ready for the next game, for the Champions League game.
I agree, but Konya and Liverpool are 2 different teams. So they're going to play 2 different ways.
I'm not planning to watch that game.
Liverpool game? I'll watch.
I don't like to watch disasters, no.
Yeah, Serkan has not watched games in the past because he was afraid to watch them. Whereas I'll watch them, just get mad and cut them off. That's what I'll do. I'll get mad and walk out of the room, try to go do something else, and I'll come back, watch it some more. Then I'll message people angry.
Yeah, I cannot do that.
But for every one of those things that happens, I remember staying up in Istanbul when we were away at Manchester United. That dumb game started like at 10 o'clock Istanbul time. And it was worth it because we went there and we somehow won. Going out and buying the Fanatic the next day and reading about it. And, every once in a while they surprise us. But again, 3 wins in the past 33 games. That
doesn't look good.
No. It's a culture issue. You've got to have something that changes that culture, right? Like, I never heard of Atletico Madrid before like 2010 or 11, but then they changed their culture. They somehow they learned how to win in Europe, and that changed who they were. We've got to somehow figure out how to get over that hump, as they say in American sports. How to get over that hump.
There is a saying in Turkish, we say, öğrenilmiş çaresizlik.
What's that mean?
Like learn helplessness.
Çok positivesin, çok ciddi. All right, everybody, that's our depression show. I hope somehow we made you smarter and not dumber. If you know why we lost, please tell us in the comments. I'm not sure if anybody does, but thanks for watching. Give the show a like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Maybe they want to hear two Americans talk nonsense about Galatasaray. Who knows? Anyways, Heidi and Boop Jim Bum. Heidi. Grüßes.